That's right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing this morning? I'm Ann Eller right here with you this morning. I got Penny sitting here. She's got her own mic now. She was talking to me last night, and she goes, "It's really not fair. I don't have my own mic." So I put a mic over there. We'll see if she ever talks into it. But how you doing this morning, Penny? Would you like something from your snack stealer cup? Yes, I would. Yes, there you go. Princess Penny having a little snack. I don't know if you caught that or not, but anyways, she's with us here this morning, sitting up, looking good. Had a great interview yesterday afternoon with Sherry Biggs, who was here in town for doing some other things. She said she'd been out in the woods. Checking things out with some constituents here is what the word I should use. And she said, so when she came into the air conditioning here, she was really happy. All right. Anyways, we're going to be airing that interview this afternoon on WCRS. Meet me at the diner. So if you missed it, tune in this afternoon. And of course, if you don't have time for that, you can go back and watch it and or listen to it right now on WCRS radio. Well, today's the day. You know what we're supposed to do. What are we supposed to do, Ann? We're supposed to do the news. So good morning, Greenwood. Grab your coffee, maybe your tea, because it's time for coffee chats and community with Coffee Tea, Penny, and me. That's right. All right. So what is the weather? That is the first topic of business. The air just feels heavy out there. It does. Right now it is 80 degrees. Feels like 86 degrees. We are looking for a high today of 94 and a low of 71. So that's what we're looking for. Let's see. Anything else here? Sunshine this morning. Scattered thunderstorms developing this afternoon. Chance of rain, 40%. Tonight's going to be a low of about 71. Tomorrow on Wednesday, hump day. Are you going to sit up here? Hump day. We've got, what have we got for Wednesday? A high of 94, low of 72. Mainly sunny skies despite a few afternoon clouds, a stray shower or thunderstorm. High, as I said, of 94, low of 72. And on, here you go. There you go. Have a little treat here, Penny. On Thursday, a high of 95, a low of 74. Friday, looks like a high of 98 and a low of 75 with about a 30% chance of some rain. Saturday comes in, high of 94, low of 73, 40% chance of a shower or two. And on Sunday, 95 degrees, folks, and a low of 74. So that's what we are looking at right now. Looks like next Monday could be a high of 98 degrees. What's wrong? Kids are back in school. Doesn't everybody supposed to realize it's supposed to cool down? Woo! Anyways, do you realize that WCRS went live on the air on September 1st, 1941. And I'm just going to announce this. There'll be more formal things going out, of course. We are going to have a little celebration on Tuesday, September 1st, 2026, to celebrate that momentous occasion when WCRS graced the airwaves. That really was a huge event. In fact, it was so huge that WCRS took up a whole page of the Index Journal. Woo! So we'll talk more about that later. I just wanted to cue you up. We are going to be having a special event on September 1st, 2026, to commemorate 85 years of WCRS. Whew. So What else we got today? Well, today's election day, folks. That's right. Today is the primary day where you have to say to yourself, are you going to vote today? I certainly hope so. Are you going to make a decision about who can be your representative or who you'd like to be your representative? I firmly think that probably we are headed for a runoff. I just can't believe that 2 weeks can give you enough time to make up your mind. But a lot of people already have. Snack Stealer here is saying, never mind about that. I just want another treat. Okay. All right. Snack Stealer. Yes. She likes her little Snack Stealer cup. And I am the snack dealer. Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about. I can't believe that 2 weeks is enough time for anybody, and particularly we had 10 candidates vying for the seat that was vacated by Lindsey Graham and his recent death. I wanted to mention that first off, don't automatically go to your usual polling place because schools are in session. A number of Greenwood District 50 polling places have temporarily moved for this election, and I expect, although I don't know this, that it will be the same if we have a runoff. So you need to check your polling location before you leave home. What's the easiest way to do? Go to scvotes.org, and it's SC Votes, and probably, is it .org or .gov? I don't know. SC Votes, and put in your name and a little bit of information. It'll tell you where your polling location is. I think it's saying that if it's a temporary, it tells you it's a temporary in there. So SC Votes is the easiest place to go. Of course, you can call your our local voter registration office too, and there are lists of them out there on Facebook, the Index Journal, etc. But find out before you go. The polls will be open from 7 o'clock this morning until 7 o'clock this evening. So that's an expanded time to be able to go vote. But whatever candidate you're supporting today, today's the day. But before you jump in the car, check where you're voting, because your normal polling place may not be your polling place today. Interesting to note that last night, President Trump did a telephone town hall type of event with Darlene Graham. I think this goes to see what will be the effect of the Trump endorsement. That is about what I would like to say about this. It's rather interesting that I don't think he did anything like that else in South Carolina, but for this one, he did do it last night with Darlene, and they did a statewide tele-rally urging South Carolina Republicans to vote for her. That is considerably more active than having an endorsement sitting on a website. So that is what he did last night. We'll see at the end of the day how all this shakes out. Will the Trump endorsement carry that much more weight? I don't know. That's a subject to wait till tonight. And the question is, do endorsements still change votes, or have most voters already made up their minds? That's the question. If you'd like to weigh in on that, we are on Facebook Live, 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. What do you think? Would you think that an endorsement made a difference? Has the endorsement made a difference to MAGA people? Or have MAGA people been making up their mind? I know some MAGA people that are making a different choice. So I'll be interested to see, just as I know you will be, at the end of the day, who moves forward in a runoff. All right. So that's one subject of the day. Penny has settled in. She's decided she's not getting any more treats. So what the heck? Just lay down and say nothing. Okay. All right. Yesterday there was a drive-by shooting. Greenwood police responded Monday afternoon near Pearl and Oak Hill Streets. 2 males were shot. Their injuries were reported as non-life-threatening. A person was in custody while police awaited charges. Don't know if there's something even more current, but that was about the most current I had found. Let's see, what does this say? Does this say anything more but what I've already told you? These shootings have just got to stop. Subject is in custody. It was the officers, it says here in this article from WSPA, Greenwood Police Department confirmed officers responded to a residential area near the intersection of Pearl and Oak Hill Streets during the afternoon. And other than that, I don't know if we have any more information, but I do not see any at this moment. If you have something more you'd like to add to it, please, please, please let me know right here on our Facebook Live page, WCRS Radio. And of course, you can always send me a message at 864-332-9355. Well, the Penny Girl is sitting up here, so would you like a little snack? You have to sit up to get your snack now. You want to sit up? No, just put it down here for me. All right, we've got the snack stealer getting a little snack from her cup. She really likes her new little cup. That's right. All right. What else have we got to talk about here today? I got a lot. I got a big list of topics here this morning. So let's see if I can get back before I get off track. I have a tendency to get off track. You know that. All right. Looks like the South Carolina budget is finally nearing the finish line. That's right. Finally coming to the finish line. We've been following this budget forever, it seems like, because they're supposed to have it for June 1st, and here it is, August 11th. The budget has been hung up for months. The conference committee removed the disputed community project earmarks for now. I find that so interesting. Well, since we can't decide on that one, let's just put it to the side so we can get in there what needs to be in there. And that would be the minimum teacher pay rise to $50,000 a year. $20 million is included for school safety improvements. Then there's the continuing argument over taxes and spendings. Senator Josh Kimbrell argues a recurring $1 to $2 billion surpluses make the case for greater tax relief. And Senator Lee Bright argues in this article that the budget remains too large. $1 to $2 billion surplus. And here's the question. When South Carolina is consistently collecting more money than anticipated, should we be spending more on growing needs or returning more of it to taxpayers? I say we should be returning more of it to taxpayers or cut the taxes. Just cut the taxes. Wouldn't that make more sense to just return more or cut the amount of taxes that we're taking in? I do remember a discussion a couple of weeks ago where it was said to me, well, we need to have a healthy rainy day fund. I think we have, I don't remember the amount, but I think we have a pretty healthy rainy day fund. So do I think we have enough in it? Yes. Do I think we should be giving more property tax relief to seniors? Yes. In the budget, I believe it went from 50 or 55 to 75 or 77,000 for our senior citizens. Why not give them a bigger cut on their property tax, or an exemption, on their property taxes? But that doesn't seem the way. They also seem to think they can make more progress as they, if they have a separate committee to be able to talk about the earmarks. So that is something that is still out there coming around. Don't you find it ridiculous that it has taken all this time? They actually approved what they could approve and went to conference committee. I think it is the middle of May, and here it is August, and they still can't seem to get together on this. Another thought, and we discussed this the other day, is possibly doing a 2-year budget, because a 2-year budget would allow them, and this is a joke, this would allow them to wait a whole nother year before they got down to the final line and started talking about about the budget. But if there's that much angst over these projects, these, quote, earmarks, maybe they just throw them out and start over. That's kind of my opinion. If you can't make a decision after all this wrangling, maybe you should just start over instead of set them up for another committee to be able to discuss it futuristically. So, when South Carolina is consistently collecting more money than anticipated, should we be spending more on growing needs or returning more to the taxpayers? That goes to that age-old term. Age-old term. If you have more money, do you spend it? Yes, you do. And that is the problem. Oh! It's so tiresome, isn't it? So tiresome to watch how our government works and the money that they give out for certain projects. We're not going to get into it today, but there was money in the budget. We've talked about this one, into that quote spit of an island that a developer wanted to develop. I think it's a very small island. That's why they call it a spit of an island, and it was going to because the property, a developer was going to build condos, etc. on it, and because the property could not be built on, the developer said, I'll sue the state. So rather than let him sue the state, oh gad, they'd rather give him a settlement amount of, I think, if my mind serves me right, of approximately $33 million. And that's in the budget. That's ridiculous. That is under one of those earmarks. And of course, then we have, $150 million to Scout Motors, So some of these things, they need better handling, I think, of it. That's my personal opinion. And you know what? I'm entitled to my personal opinion here this morning. Hey, don't forget you got to vote today. Vote. If you haven't already voted, get out there and vote. Today is the day. The decision will be made on who is moving forward in the primary election. And if you don't get out and do it, then you're not part of the process, and you can't bitch about it if you don't go out and vote. So get out there and vote today, 7 to 7. By the way, they will also have, if you have somebody that's handicapped or would cause a problem to get out of the car, you can request curbside voting. So that is another really, really convenient way to do things, curbside voting. But again, just FYI, before you go to vote, check your precinct, see where it may have moved. Now, some of them have not moved, but it may have moved. That's just to make it so you don't get frustrated when you go to vote. All right, now, I have this great story here. I don't know if I should share it with you or not. Do you think we should tell them about it, Penny? Yes? Let's tell him about it. Okay. Would you like to tell the story? No, you tell it much better. Okay. All right. I'll tell the story. All right. I don't know. That's not that one. All right. I'm trying to create the anticipation. Anticipation. All right. What would you say? Trying to figure out the best way to tell this story. What would you say if there was a naked woman in a fire vehicle, a fire department pickup truck? What would you say to that? A 36-year-old woman was arrested a few days ago in Wisconsin after police found her naked behind the wheel of a stolen fire department pickup truck. Body camera footage shows officers questioning the woman identified as Emily Fair, who was driving the stolen vehicle. When asked why she was naked, she responded, "I'm supposed to be meeting someone." In a fire truck, as she just stole this fire truck pickup, or this fire vehicle, a pickup truck. Court documents reveal the incident began just before 1 a.m. when Fair was caught on video climbing into the truck at Pleasant Prairie Fire Station number 3, turning on the emergency lights and driving off. Dispatchers soon noticed an unusual radio transmission. Remember, this was 1 o'clock in the morning, when things are supposed to be quiet. She started saying over the radio, "I'm hungry. You got food in there? You got any snacks? I need some snacks. I'm naked and I'm hungry." Okay, they did find her dress in the bed of the truck before taking her into custody, so she had something to put back on, I guess. Either that or they wrapped a blanket around her. She's been charged with operating a motor vehicle without the owner's consent, the fire department. She's scheduled to undergo a competency hearing on August 26. If convicted, she could face up to 6 years in prison or a $10,000 fine. Now, here is the question. Were the keys in the fire truck? How did she actually start the fire truck and drive off? That would be my question. Now, I understand them leaving it open, meaning unlocked, but why were the keys in it, or does it need what does it have to start the vehicle? Do you have to push a button and have the fob with you? How does this work? But that is my question. And what a shock to be. How would you like to be that police officer that drove up and said, "Ma'am," when they finally got her stopped, "Ma'am, you seem to not have any clothes on. Where are you headed?" "I'm supposed to be meeting somebody," was the answer. "And you don't need any clothes to do this, ma'am?" "No, I don't." Oh, Lord. You know, every time you think you understand what's happening in this world, you find a story like this that restores all normalcy to life. Yes, there's still naked stories out there, Anne, and you can still find them. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hey, I'm Ann Eller. We are right here this morning just looking at the news, having a little coffee. I'm having my tea right now. I love a little tea this morning. I like green tea with a ginger chew in it, so I have some ginger in it. Then I add just a smidgen of honey, a little lemon juice, and some pomegranate juice. I figure I'm getting all the nutrients I need to start my day. And maybe that's what puts me in good stead as I take off for the day here every day. That and going outside with Penny on our morning walks. I think about the days before I had Penny. I used to be able to just get dressed, go outside, breathe a little fresh air, turn around, come back in, come sit down at my seat. Not a lick of exercise. Now with Penny, I get to walk all around the field as we find the proper poop space. And believe me, I wish I understood what it was that makes it the proper place. But there are very definite requirements to a proper place to poop. Just saying. All right, moving on here this morning. I have another good story, I think. How about these? Have you heard about the South Carolina Food Hall of Fame? This is the inaugural Southern Food Hall of Fame. There are 3 items that have been put in there. I'd love for you to be thinking about another item, maybe that you'd see being put into the Food Hall of Fame for South Carolina. The 3 items are, number 1, Duke's Mayonnaise from Greenville. You know, Eugenia Duke began making sandwiches with her homemade mayonnaise for soldiers at Camp Sevier during World War I in 1917. Eventually, the mayonnaise became a business. There's a whole big story about that. Of course, she's gone, but the business was sold and now it's been taken over by someone. But I guess the secret recipe for Duke's mayonnaise is still out there. Do you have a preference for mayonnaise? Is Duke's your go-to one? Would you not eat anything if it didn't have Duke's mayonnaise on it? Oh my gosh. I know a lot of people are like that. So 864-332-9355. You can make it a private comment, or you can go right there to our Facebook page and give me a comment here this morning. 864-332-9355. Love for somebody to comment here this morning. Nobody is commenting. What's going on here today? I am a little bit surprised. Where's no comments? No good morning, Ann? No good morning, Penny? How about that? All right. Anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about the next item in the group. We've got Duke's Mayonnaise, then we've got Anson Mills, known for preserving southern grains, particularly Carolina Gold rice, grits, and cornmeal. That is the second item that we have here that is now in the South Carolina Food Hall of Fame. Did you know we had right across the street here a mill that ground grains, the roller mill? I always thought, I didn't realize that that's what was across the street. And then one day I was driving by, stopped and really read the sign. That was for a milling. So how about that? And that's still here. I still say to this day that would make a very cool, if you could conserve any of it, and I don't know if you could, but it would make a really cool restaurant, bar, upscale place. I mean, think of the work you'd have to do. But the round things where the grain went in, wouldn't those be cool private little dining areas? I just think it would be the coolest place. Kind of reminds me of the movie Cannery Row, where they had all those on the docks, and that's kind of what it always reminds me of. And I always thought it would make a great place for one of those, a really specialty restaurant, but I don't know if you could do it or not. It probably would have to not be able to be saved, but it still is very, very cool. All right, so that's Anson Mills in Columbia, Carolina Gold rice, grits, and cornmeal. And then this one I am totally unfamiliar with, Callie's Hot Little Biscuit from Charleston. Carrie Morey started the company in 2005 based on her mother Callie's biscuit recipe. So I have no idea about this one at all. What other things do you think should go in there? What would be our Southern Food Hall of Fame? Cheerwine, moon pies. I don't know. Pepsi? Did Pepsi come from South Carolina? I think so. But anyways, what would you like to see? Moon pies? Is that a South Carolina tradition? I never really was into moon pies. I don't know about you, but I would not vote for, though, just FYI. Here you go. I would not vote for the Hostess coffee cakes because they're too small. You know, I talked about this the other day. I had a hankering for one of these. I opened up the container. I was all excited about it. Took one out. The thing is so tiny, it doesn't even qualify. It's like I guess it's 4 bites. A 4-bite one, but, and no crumbly cinnamon topping, cinnamon streusel on the top. It's inside the cake. And I'm very disappointed in it. However, it does taste good. But I would not be for putting the Hostess coffee cakes. Let me show you this again. The Hostess coffee cakes in there because they are not the same. If you notice the picture even shows the streusel topping on top. There you go. Let's look at this side. And the streusel topping on top. But it is not on top. It is inside the cake. I think the box is the same size. I'm not sure. They might have made it a little smaller. But those little cakes, they sure flop around in there. All right. What are some of your favorite things that you just dearly love from South Carolina? How about fried okra? I love fried okra. I guess it would be difficult to put fried okra on the list, but I love fried okra. There are a lot of good Southern things that maybe we need a Southern Recipes Hall of Fame, where Southern recipes are put out there as the Hall of Fame, the gold standard across our state. That would be kind of cool. That could be in also with the South Carolina Food Hall of Fame. You know, the fair's coming up in October. I wonder if they're going to add that as a possibility. We'll have to check that out and see for sure. We will have to check that out. 864-332-9355. 864-332-9355. I guess everybody must be out voting today. I certainly hope so. We are looking for somebody to say good morning, Ann. Good morning, Ann. I'd love for you to say good morning, Ann. Otherwise, I don't know what's happening on Facebook Live today. I just don't know. All right, let's move on to a couple other topics, and then I'm going to be done for today. I've got a lot on my agenda. Don't forget, this afternoon, we will be replaying the interview with Representative Sherry Biggs, and that you need to go ahead and sign up for her Salute to Liberty. Let me tell you, yesterday afternoon, she was telling us some of the people that are going to be at this event. She has got quite a group that will be there. Scalise is one of the keynote speakers. They're going to have they figure that they will have the runoff candidates, of course, will be there. All kinds of state people will be here. But also, I think she told me Steve Scalise said he was bringing a 5 carloads of people. I don't know who it is, but Mark Meadows is going to be there. Okay. But Jim Jordan's going to be there. Of course, Alan Wilson, who is running for the governor's office, who is our state's attorney, will be there. But a huge list of guests are going to be there. So who else does it say? Is there anybody else that I see out there? Salute will also feature Greenville-based performance and speed painter Jared Emerson. Art reaches everyone, and special music by Dove Award and Grammy-nominated gospel music artists, The Sisters. Dinner, it's going to be a sit-down dinner, and it is not going to be barbecue. She didn't exactly give me the menu, but she said it's not going to be barbecue. So I think that's great. You know, during a political season, what do we always have? Barbecue, barbecue, barbecue. No barbecue at this event. So that is the Salute to Liberty. You can check it out at salute2liberty.org. Get your tickets. If you are a first responder or a veteran, tickets are just $1. They're expecting a huge turnout. It is a great event to go to. I'll be there talking to people, mingling, trying to get some good interviews to bring back for the next morning. So make sure you do that. It is next Monday evening. And it's going to be a huge event. Last year was huge. This year is huger. That's right, huger. So, anyways, that's what we have going there. What else do we have as we're rolling through here? All right. This is a day for wacky stories. That's all I have to say. Wacky stories. And the story is Betty Bromage of England, 97 years young, has broken her own Guinness record as the world's oldest female wing walker. She didn't even start doing it till she was 87. She's now done it 6 times, and despite suffering a stroke last year, she went back up. Okay, so she broke a Guinness World Record. She had to be strapped in to the wing so she could do it, but she still did it. Her quotes are her story. The thought of lying in bed and not doing anything terrifies me, and as long as I am alive, I've got to do things. A woman after my own heart. So when have you decided you're too old to do? Maybe you're not too old to do at all. So, I'm not sure I would be starting with wing walking at 87, but everybody's got their thing. A lot of people jump out of planes. I mean, you know, we see a lot of people jumping out of planes at an older age. But wing walking and doing it on her own, you know, some even the people that jump out of planes, parachute jumping, they always have somebody right there with them. She is by herself wing walking, and she is in this latest one because I guess she had the stroke. They decided they better strap her in, and they strap her in on a biplane with the 2 wings, and there she is just up there flying away. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I don't know if you caught it yesterday, but Penny had a lovely spa day to get ready for Sherry Biggs coming, and Sherry was appropriately impressed. Penny even was wearing a hat. If you saw the pictures on Facebook yesterday, if you didn't, I'll be posting some more today. She was quite lovely. She was all dressed up with her pink and dress with a pretty pink bow on it. So, we weren't able to do Facebook Live on the radio yesterday because it was during Clay and Buck, but this afternoon at 5 o'clock we will replay that Facebook Live, so make sure you tune into that. I hope that they get this budget taken care of. I hope that when they actually start meeting on the earmarks, that they actually make some good decisions about money that can be returned to the folks, either through tax cuts, that they really start making some of those tax cuts. They've got so much money coming in, they just figure out ways to spend it when we should be figuring out how to reduce our budget. Isn't that the buzzword for today? Doging things, getting rid of things. Why does the South Carolina keep expanding its budget instead of reducing its budget? So we've talked about Southern food today. We've talked about that naked fire truck lady and the 97-year-old wing walker. Yes, women do amazing things. And quite often they end up in the news. So do we have anything else we want to talk about here? I don't think so. I think you better check out your polling places before you go vote. Make sure you vote. Today is August 11th, and it is the date to vote. So please go vote and make sure that you find out where your polling location is. That, my friends, is going to do it for me. So we're going to say, drop the curtain here today. We will just drop the curtain, right, Penny? We're going to go have breakfast and have a great day. Hope you have a great day, too. This is WCRS Radio. And I'm going to say adieu. So let's take it away. Let's take it away. Bye-bye, everybody.